Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to Homeownership Tips. In today's video, we'll take a look at 9 tax mistakes homeowners make. It's important to get your taxes right, especially if you can get money back. My name is Andrew Finney. Please consider me your real estate geek. I am always here to help. My contact information is in the show more description below and always at the end of every video. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and subscribe to this video now and like this video too. Thank you so much. So let's go ahead and lead in with tax mistake number 1. Tax mistake number 1 is actually deducting the wrong year for your property taxes. Some counties and some areas where they do property taxes can actually be 1 year behind. You want to roger up with your tax professional in the county to make sure that you're paying the most current year with the tax liability that you owe for your property tax. Mistake number 2 is actually confusing your escrow amount with the actual amount of taxes paid. Now, the good information about your escrow account, or some people may actually call it an impound account with your loan, is that your lender every single year is going to be sending you over some information with the actual amount of taxes you paid. Hang on to that and keep it for your tax professional. They're going to need that whenever they come time to do some deductions for you. Now, mistake number 3 is actually forgetting to deduct your refinancing points. So if you did a refinance on your home loan and you paid some points to buy down the rate, you may be eligible for a tax credit or a tax reduction based upon those refinance points. Keep that information available. If in question, keep it and give it to your tax professional. Nothing can ever go wrong if you're asking the questions of your tax professional about, hey, what should I be looking out for? What about this? What about that? I kept this, and give it to them, because the last time I checked, the answer to an unasked question is always no. If you bring it up, you might get a yes, and that yes can save you some dough. So mistake number 4 is actually not taking a home office deduction. Let's say that you work for your home, you're self-employed, or you have one of those jobs that you can essentially telecommute or work from home. You might be eligible for a home office deduction. It's not quite the red flag that it was many years ago, because a lot of us are working from home these days, or at least partially working from home. You may be able to get a credit for that. So mistake number 5 is failing to repay your first-time buyer credit. Now, if you were a first-time home buyer back in 2008 to 2010, there were tax incentives for tax credits being awarded to first-time home buyers to help stimulate the economy after the collapse. Now, you actually had to pay back a portion of that money, or all of that money. In many cases, it was about $7,500 that was a grant, or not a grant, but it was actually a credit to you of $7,500 that you had to pay back over a 10-year period of time. Now, being that our current tax year is 2017, this could be the tail end of the 2010 people, so make sure you're getting that right, and make sure that if that was a credit that you used, you're talking to your tax professional about it so that you don't get harmed and owe taxes that you weren't expecting to owe. So mistake number 6 is actually failing to track home-related expenses. This is something important all the time. Let's say that you did a massive home renovation on your home, that you replaced the granite, you replaced the kitchen, maybe you did new flooring, new cabinetry, redid your bathrooms, so you did a remodel, period. Keep those receipts. Whether or not it impacts you in your current tax year or not, it will likely impact you when it comes time to sell, and you may be able to get some benefits off of that for putting in those upgrades to your home. If you're doing certain green energy improvements to your property, you may be getting credits in that tax period. You want to ask your tax professional about that and see how that applies to your situation if that's something that you've done. So mistake number 7 is actually forgetting to track your capital gains. It's important to know about capital gains on the sale of real property. It's anyone's guess what the tax laws are going to do going forward. That we all know that tax laws do change here and there and everywhere, and so it's always important to ask about this. But your capital gains, as it has been for the last many years, has been a tax deduction of $250,000. If you were a single person, you could deduct up to $250,000 of profit on your primary residence, and a primary residence being defined as living in the residence for 2 years of the most recent 5. If that's your case, then you may not have to pay money on that, tax on that money, which is always awesome. If you're married, the tax credit was up to $500,000 of profit that you could bank before you owed any taxes. If you go beyond that, you owe some capital gains. So you want to talk to your tax professional about that if you have bought or sold a home in this last tax season, the last 1 year. Ask them about it. Keep that information current and submit it so that you know what you're looking at, and see if there's any credits or any benefits or any gains, capital gains that you're going to have to pay for taxes and that purpose. Mistake number 8 is actually taking too many tax credits on eco-friendly improvements. Back to those green improvements. If you're putting solar panels on your house, you're going to get a tax credit credit if you bought them outright. You're likely not to get a tax credit at all if you're leasing them. So it's important to know if you lease them and you take a tax credit on it, you don't own those panels until that lease runs out. Normally like 20 years or is what I'm seeing for a lot of contracts out there. So you want to talk to your tax professional about that. Be completely open and honest with them. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by trying to deduct something or mistakenly deducting something that doesn't apply to your situation and only later get audited and get dinged on it. We don't want to see you get hurt here. The purpose is to try to give you 9 things to ask your tax professional about to see how it affects you. So that brings us full circle to tip number 9, which is claiming too much of a mortgage interest tax deduction. Now, it's important to get that right. And again, you're gonna get that information from your loan officer every single year about what your mortgage interest is and how much you can actually deduct is gonna be based upon the current tax period and what the IRS is saying as far as their new statutes are. Now, and you know, when I'm making this video right now, it's 2017. Now, people may be watching this video well into the future, and this video is still gonna be relevant to you. These are 9 things you're gonna wanna ask as a homeowner every single year to your tax professional. Now, I'm a real estate agent. I am not a tax professional. I'm not a tax attorney or a tax accountant. Simply a real estate professional trying to help out by looking out for your best interest and giving you a list of questions. Share this video with your tax professional. Write them down. I'll also list them down in the show more description below of things to consider and ask about whenever you get ready to pay your taxes in whatever tax year it is going forward. Thank you so much for watching today. Now, if you would like to contact me, have some questions about this, or want to share some of your own tax mistakes as a homeowners that you see people make or you've perhaps made yourself, please tell us about it. Please give us a tax year, give us a situation, and tell us a little bit about where you live and what it was that either applied or did not apply so that our community can learn and grow together. If you want to reach out to me, you want to say hi, I'm going to put my contact information up now. Please feel free to do so. I always enjoy hearing from you. Now, if just like I mentioned on the beginning of this video, if you haven't already done so, I'm going to ask you to do 3 things. Number 1, please subscribe to this channel. Number 2, please like this video. And number 3, please share this video around with someone you know is going to be able to help. Thank you so much for watching today. In between now and next time, I'm wishing you and your family all the love, wealth, abundance, and happiness in the world. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.